What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Neo, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information and stay for the perspective. Now, I can help but notice that we are officially 3 subscribers away from 100. That was the goal that I had set for 2021, but now that we're so close to it, it would be awesome to reach that milestone by the Q3 earning call for the channel, and that's going to be in early October. If you've been finding value in the content and it's helped you in your own investment journey, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's free to you, and it's an easy way to support the channel. Thank you to those who have done so already, and looking forward to the rest of you joining up. Moving on to Virgin Galactic, I would say that you cannot be an investor in Virgin Galactic and not pay attention to what SpaceX is doing. When we think of the macro environment for the commercial space industry, SpaceX is the market leader, and what SpaceX does tends to have an impact on the sentiment for the entire sector. So with that in mind, I want to spend a bit of time on how SpaceX's historic accomplishment this week is impacting Virgin Galactic and what can be reasonably expected next. Then briefly touch on a few key broader market forces to be aware of as we head into next week and beyond, which could have an outsized impact on market sentiment overall. And we'll wrap up with the weekly performance review expressed in percentage gain or loss. If you haven't already, drop the video an early like, as it greatly helps the content get pushed out to more people who may also find the information beneficial, and overall it does help the channel grow. All right, let's get into it. Virgin Galactic entered September trending down. The near-term outlook has not been all that positive given the ongoing FAA investigation, potential concerns with the vendor supplied parts, and a twice delayed now Unity 23 flight as a result. Again, space is hard, delays are to be expected, and a long-term mindset is paramount to see a company like Virgin Galactic reach its full potential. Those near-term headwinds have seen the sentiment around Virgin Galactic shift from the majority of analysts recommending the stock as a buy to now a hold. The exact breakdown is 4 buys, 5 hold, and 2 sell. Each analyst essentially cites the same 3 reasons I just went over, and the difference in recommendation comes down to the time horizon and whether or not they believe Virgin Galactic can move past these near-term headwinds. If we take Oliver Chen from Cohen & Co., he reiterated his buy rating on Virgin Galactic, but lowered his price target from $51 to $30. He acknowledged the near-term setbacks, but sees Virgin Galactic as an important leader in the commercial space industry. Analyst Greg Conrad from Jefferies essentially had the same to say, and his price target comes in at $33. Those 2 notes came on the back of the successful SpaceX launch earlier this week. Take a listen for some context on how significant the SpaceX mission is to the commercial space industry as a whole.
Now, Elon Musk's SpaceX is poised to make history again when this all-civilian Inspiration 4 mission lifts off from here as soon as tonight. This will mark the first time ever that a fully private crew on a mission that's funded without any government backing has actually traveled to Earth orbit. They will travel to an altitude of roughly 360 miles. That is farther than the International Space Station. It's actually the farthest for humans in space since the Hubble telescope repairs that were more than a decade ago. 3 days orbiting Earth at 22 times the speed of sound. They're going to be conducting health experiments, carrying payloads, including NFTs that will be auctioned off for St. Jude before a splashdown landing off the Florida coast. Now, just for some context here, Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic flight was an hour. It traveled to about 54 miles. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin was 11 minutes. It was 62 miles, both of those at 3 times the speed of sound. So this is wildly ambitious, and if all goes according to plan tonight, this will mark not only a major milestone for SpaceX, which, by the way, has a growing manifest of these types of private trips, but also for commercial spaceflight overall. This is huge.
Instead of an hour.
I cannot stress enough the fact, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I cannot stress enough the fact that in the past, government astronauts would spend years training for a mission like this. They did this in 6 months.
You know, all of these successes have driven progress and investor confidence in the company, but also for the economy at large. I mean, we've now seen $200 billion invested into 1,500 space companies over the last 10 years, up from, basically 0 before that.
As I said, this is a huge deal for SpaceX, but also for Virgin Galactic being part of the space travel industry. Ultimately, the Inspiration 4 mission launched and returned successfully 3 days later, yesterday on Saturday. The clip was recorded pre-launch, and you can see that the Virgin stock at the time was trading under $24 before closing the week at $26.28 for a total weekly gain of 7.44%. The main point I want to make here is that paying attention to the company's fundamentals and the long-term potential is important. But just as equally important is understanding how the industry is expanding and how the industry leader is performing. It's no secret that Richard Branson and Elon Musk are friends, so it's not surprising again to see him congratulate Elon and the SpaceX team. Despite the rivalry between Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and Elon Musk's SpaceX, everyone does recognize the historical importance of the Inspiration 4 mission. And that is why Jeff Bezos also congratulated SpaceX and Elon on their successful mission. When you put it all together, that is the reason why we saw the shift in the sentiment in the market and the Virgin stock rising this week. The last thing I want to bring to your attention, not as financial advice, because again, I'm not a financial advisor, but simply for perspective, is this. The S&P 500 year to date has returned 18%, and it's likely going to close out the year at 20%, give or take 1%. Buying into Virgin Galactic now at the current level, under the assumption that we reach the Wall Street consensus of $31.30, would represent an upside of 18.5%, matching the index performance, but in a much shorter time frame. The good news here is that we now have positive momentum in the stock, and there is still one major catalyst before the year is over, and that's going to be our Unity 23 flight. That should help us get to the consensus of $31.30, or maybe a little bit beyond by the time the year is up. Now, just as much as the sector and microenvironment can help lift your investments, it can also have the opposite effect. These past 2 weeks are a good testament to that, right? So we do have a couple of notable events that I want to mention to you, especially as we get into next week. The first one being the FOMC, or Federal Open Market Committee meeting, that will be kicking off on Wednesday. And it's going to be a 2-day event culminating with Fed Chairman Jay Powell's speech on Friday. Details on the tapering schedule could be discussed there, and that it would obviously send the market into a frenzy of some sort. The other item to be aware of is that we could see a government shutdown if no new budget is approved by September 30th. So either one of those at the end of the day is going to be enough to trigger more widespread profit taking in the form of a 10% correction potentially, right? So that's been talked about a few times in the news, and people have been calling for it. And that could be the excuse that people use to go ahead and, have a nice sell-off. How likely is this? I don't know, right? So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have a crystal ball, but it's pretty clear at this point that these past 2 weeks of profit taking was because people were positioning themselves ahead of the FOMC meeting and what could be coming out of that. My recommendation here is simply to make a plan and be ready, right? Decide if you're going to hold, if you're going to buy, or if you're going to sell a little bit too. That's totally up to you, but have a plan so that if we do see that correction and it is significant, you have, you know what to do, and you're not panicking with a bunch of other people that weren't ready. All right, so getting into the weekly performance review expressed in percentage gain or loss, I came into the week in the red, and at the lowest point, the portfolio was down by 5.04%. As the week went on, most of my positions held at their respective levels, but Virgin Galactic being lifted thanks to the SpaceX mission resulted in a weekly gain overall of 6.58%. All in all, not a bad week at all. I'll shift the focus of next Sunday's video towards Tesla and NIO, as there are a few items to cover and to be aware of, especially as we head into October. But with that, this will do it for today's video. If you found the content insightful, go ahead and drop the video a like and share with others who could benefit from it. For my newcomers, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content just like this. As a reminder, I post every Sunday and now on most Thursdays for more crypto-focused content. If you want to earn some passive income with your crypto, make sure you tune into next Thursday's video where we'll be talking about staking and how to go about it. Thank you for watching. Stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.